There you go. You should have the message up there. That's going, and we're going to get to rolling here. All right. Okay, so we have made it through week 1, and we are in week 2. Everybody proud of what they did in week 1? Everybody did okay? Yes, yes. Looking for those emojis. All right. So, week 1's one of the hardest weeks. You started off in a class you're not used to, online, not necessarily what everybody wanted, different subject, not necessarily the one you wanted. So it's a lot of new things, a lot of first things. So I consider it one of the more difficult uh, weeks in that it's a lot of getting used to learning how to organize how you're going to do the class itself. Okay, so that's a lot to throw at you. How many people found getting used to it was a little strange, a little awkward, trying to go from on campus to online? Anybody find that a little difficult, a little awkward there, trying to set yourself up, managing your own time? Yeah, that's pretty normal. So if you found yourself in that situation, don't feel like, there's something wrong with you. You know, this is a normal type situation to be in, getting used to that. So we got some things to go over here before we actually get into the actual project so that we all
Before we
know
actually
exactly where and how we should be going through these things, and hopefully some stuff to make it a little bit easier. All right, everybody good with that? Yes, yes. All right. So here we go. So I want to go over just a few things to kind of help you out. Okay. So I'm going to do some screen sharing here. Boom. That was me trying to get my system to cooperate. So I'm going to go over some things to kind of help y'all out. Um, some things that came up today that people were kind of having questions with, some things that made things. Okay, Tamika, you can't hear anything. Everybody else is hearing okay. So if you're not having, if you can't hear, you may need to log out, log back in, or check your headphone settings or your speaker. Everybody else can still hear, correct? Let's look for those emojis. Yeah, everybody else is still hearing. So check your settings, Tamika, see what's going on there. You may have to log out, log back in. Okay, so questions that have been coming up, I'm going to show this as a student here, is going into those assignments. This over here on the left here, that's McGraw-Hill SimNet, don't go there for your assignments. I know we're working in SimNet. This is not the place to go for those, okay? I'm going to show you all the places not to go. Don't go there. Don't try to launch them from the to-do list, okay? Don't go there. For the first time, somebody tried to launch them from the syllabus. They are actually listed in here, down here at the bottom. Again, not here, okay? And the last place not to try to launch them from is here in the grade book, okay? So when you're in here, typically when you go here, you'll get this no preview available, okay? Where you go to launch them is from the modules. Go into the modules and then come down here, click on your assignments down here, okay? Number one, you'll see what you need to work on all put together, but that is what will take you directly into those chapters when you click on those. Now I'm in here as a test student, so sometimes things work out differently for me. And but what it'll do is it'll take you all the way in. Yeah, I'm in here as a test student. Um, Let me go ahead and put me in here. So what will typically happen is it will take you directly in here. So if I come in here normally from the home page and I go into the modules and I come down into my chapter and click, it will take you all the way into your chapter. There is no login you have to put in, no, thank you. Not thinking I'm telling her what to do, and she couldn't hear me. So thank you, Kayleen. Um, did not think that she couldn't hear me. So yeah, that zipped right over my head. And but if you come in here, it will take you in. So if you're getting a login screen and it's asking you for a password, check to see how you're coming in. Okay. So chances are you are coming in incorrectly. Okay, you should be coming in directly there. So that is one of the things that came up uh, over and over in the questions. The other thing is um, when you're looking at those grades, okay, and you come in here and you're looking at your grades and you have on one of these discussions, if you see that you've got 20 points on that discussion and we have not passed Sunday, you're going to see a little box over here that you can click on, and it's going to show you that that 20 points is going to have a comment in there that you need to make 2 more posts. Okay, that's not a final grade. You need to make 2 more posts. And I'm going to keep coming back into these assignments throughout the week. Okay, it's not final. Okay, so I'm going to keep coming back in. I go through here and go through here. And if you put another post in, the next time that I come through there, that 20 points is going to go up to 40 points. And that comment's going to change. You have 1 more post to do. If you have done all 3 posts, you're going to have 100 points. And that comment's going to change saying that it's completed. Okay. If you get to Wednesday and Wednesday passed and we are now on Thursday and you did no post, you're going to have a comment in there saying that a temporary 0 is in there and you need to complete 3 posts by Sunday. Again, you still have till Sunday to finish this assignment, but you are now at 0 points, and when you complete it, you may not have a full 100 points. You can have a reduced score because you are late now. Does everybody got that? Everybody understands how that works. Okay. All the way through Sunday, you can be adding to this, but you need to be doing assignments. Okay. Assignments will get you attendance, but you have to be doing the work. All right. This is how things work when you're in online. Okay. You don't get to just do the assignments whenever. I know some on the campuses, oh, I don't want to do my assignments this week. I come in and I do them this week, or I catch them all up. No, it doesn't work that way. We have very strict guidelines as to when things have to be done, and that's kind of them. Okay. And also, that's how you get attendance. Logging in and moving around, all it does is create an audit trail. Okay. And what I mean by that is I'm going to leave this student view for a minute. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to come down here and we're going to look at the people in here. And if I come down here and I look at myself here and I come over to access reports, you can see it keeps track of everywhere I've been and how long I have been there. Okay, so it keeps track of everything that I've done, how long I've been there, how many times I actually touched the item. Okay, so if you're not actually going to do work, if you're just going to go back and forth and back and forth, so it looks like you're doing work, it actually just tracks that. Okay, so if you've got a really busy schedule and you don't have time to actually do something, don't log in just to log in. Okay, I mentioned that before. Only log in when you can actually do work because you're not going to get any attendance if you're not doing the work. All right, everybody got that? Yes, yes. Looking for those emojis to go by. So everybody understands that. I want you to use your time wisely. If you're not doing the assignments, use your time for other things other than trying to make it look like you're busy. All right? And that's not to sound, you know, off-putting. It's just reality. Don't come in and try to look busy because it's not getting you anywhere. I want you to use your time wisely. Okay? So that's something else that came up. And those discussions, those really do add up. If you look at your syllabus, you'll see over here that those discussions, that's 15% of your grade. And you only have one of those a week. So that's going to impact you pretty heavily. Whereas the assignments and chapters, yeah, that's 30%, but there's a lot of those in there. And so that's going to spread out. So remember, in this course, you're going to be pretty even keeled. So make sure that you are completing those. Don't throw away 60 or 80% of those scores because you didn't do a post, all right? And your voice in those posts are really important. You know, think about how these things are actually going to affect you in your career. Because the bottom line is this is your career and these things do affect you, and how you represent yourself on the job is sometimes almost as important as you doing the work itself. Okay. You'll be asked how you're doing this, how you're doing that, et cetera, et cetera. And how you represent yourself is going to be really important. Raphael's mic interfering there. Let me turn my volume up here. I may not be hearing his. 1 second here. I just turned his off. There we go. Yeah, I'm not getting the feedback here. There we go. I had to turn the volume up on mine, so now I should be able to hear if anybody's mic comes on. All right, there we go. Let me go back to sharing my screen here. Okay. Sorry about that. I didn't realize the volume was off also on this headset. Okay, so those are some things that will help you out there as far as those are concerned. The other thing I want to emphasize when you are in here and you are working, um, use time to your advantage, okay? So as we are in here in week 2, things that go quickly, the self-evaluation, I'm going to go over in a minute, but your discussions, that's a quick assignment. As long as people get in there and work, your initial post, you have control over that. Boom, you can get that done. If you see other people that have already posted, knock this out while you're in there. That way you don't have to remember to go back in and post. While you're in there, knock all 3 out, finish that up, get those 100 points. There's no penalty for finishing any assignment early. Now, we have attendance tonight, so that means you need to finish at least one assignment tonight for uh, attendance. I recommend doing this week 1 self-evaluation. Get that one done. It's a quicker assignment, guarantees your attendance, and I'm going to go over that here in a minute. But in reality, you could finish any one of these and you will gain attendance. When I say you gain attendance, you must complete one assignment on any of the by any of the attendance dates, not on the attendance date, by the end of that attendance day to get that. So today on Monday, we have attendance. Okay, that's why I say do by midnight here. This is a quick one to do it. Now, our next one will be Thursday. Now, so that means any of these, if you complete them and you have not already counted it for attendance, so if you do this one and we count it for Monday, then any of these other ones will be eligible for Thursday. Any one of them. All right. So what I look at is this one's due on Wednesday, at least one post. If you knock this out, it counts for your Thursday attendance. Does everybody see that? Everybody got that? So then what that means, if you come in here tonight and you do this one and you knock this discussion out, your next actual due date is Sunday. You have until Sunday to complete all of this. All right? So that eliminates stress. And when you have stress off your back, you can get things accomplished a lot of times more quickly because you're not worried. Okay? Now, this isn't a magic trick. This is stress management. All right? Now, don't procrastinate. If you do this, then don't just go, oh, I don't have to do this until Sunday night. Because if you do that, your PC's going to stop working. The internet's going to go down. Electric's going to go out. The worst possible cases are all going to happen. Don't do that to yourself, all right? Okay, work on these then. If you get these two done Monday night, then look at this. Knock one of these out Tuesday, knock one out Wednesday, knock this one out Thursday, and then, or knock two of these out on Tuesday, then knock these two out on Wednesday. Finish this on Thursday. Be done for the weekend. Does everybody see how you can manage this and be boom, boom, done? There's a lot of ways to do this. That's the purpose of showing you everything at the beginning of the week. Plan your time. Maximize your time to where it works for you. How many people have a horrible work schedule? Probably most of you, right? Look at your work schedule and figure these out around that work schedule. And then that way you'll know what days you can do your school around it. Okay? And that's how you learn your time management. This is going to help you immensely when you are working in your career. This is the beginning of project management. Okay, does everybody see how that works for your projects when you are on the job and they say, this is a project that's going to take 3 weeks? You look at that project and we are going to do what I call eating an elephant. Has anyone ever heard that phrase? We're going to eat an elephant. Kayleen's heard of this. Okay, we eat an elephant one bite at a time. Okay, your project or anything big you're working on, that is the elephant. So you look at this elephant and you go, I can take this leg and do this. This leg, I'm going to do this. The trunk, I'm going to do this. The ear, I'm going to do this. You break that elephant apart, that big project, and you say when you're going to do this, and now that big monstrous thing is all broken down and you can do it. But if you look at the whole thing, you're going to spin in circles and you're going to be overwhelmed. How many people get overwhelmed easily? I know I can get overwhelmed easily, and then I turn on the television and don't want to do a thing. Guarantee you, I will do that. So take the big thing and break it apart. And don't look at the other pieces. Just work that one little part, get it done. Work on the next part, get it done. Work on the next part, get it done. Pretty soon, you finish that elephant. Everybody got that? That is how you handle it. And we can do this. All right. So that's what we're going to do right here. Okay. The self-evaluation. I know this sounds really bizarre, but there's a reason for it. I want you to know where you stand in this class at all times. What did you do last week? How many people don't remember what they did last week? I can't remember sometimes if I shake my head too fast what I did 2 minutes ago. It's like an Etch-a-Sketch. So what you do is you click begin and you're going to answer the questions. And they may not make some sense to you, okay? But what I want to know is what did you do on the discussion? It was worth 100 points, but I want you to be honest. If you got 60 points, put 60 points. Okay, what that means is you didn't get all the items done. That makes you aware this week you need to watch that, okay? This the chapter. If you only got 40 points, put 40 points. If you got the full 100, put that. If you got 40, that means you didn't finish the chapter. But maybe you did the whole quiz and you got 100, but you missed part of the chapter, okay? So, what did you think about the number of assignments? Were there too many? Were there not too many? Huh, it was okay. I say it was a 5. It's a difficulty scale. How hard were they? There's a reason why I'm asking. I want to know what you thought about them. That way I can tell how I might be able to help you. Okay? I didn't think they were too hard. I may not have liked them, but they weren't too hard to do. Okay? How much stress did you have outside of work? It was horrible. Okay? That could be why you didn't finish them. How confused were you? If you put a 10 on there, that means you need me to help you. You want me to contact you. Okay? Eh, it wasn't confusing. Again, I just didn't like them. Okay? Tell me, did you come to the live session? Did you watch the recording? Or I skipped both. Okay? It's okay to say if you skip both. I just want to know because if you're having difficulty and you're skipping both, I'm going to say watch them. It may not be the most exciting thing, but there's help in there. Okay. Did you complete all of them? No, I did not. Okay, that's fine. I need an extension on the chapter. Yes, true means yes, you did. Go to the next one. I need an extension on the quiz. Nope, I got the quiz. So false is no. Submit it. Okay, once you submit it, you can't change anything. Submit it, and it's going to tell you whatever grade. Ignore the grade. That means nothing because I'm going to go through and I give the grade. If you answered everything, you got 100%. Everybody got that? If you answer it all, you get 100%. The 100% is because you participated in it. You told me exactly what you did. And if you need an extension, I can now give it to you because you're telling me what you want the extension on. Does everybody got that? This is crucial because you need to know what you did last week. All right? If you need an extension, this is how you get it. Sending me a text or an email, I'm going to tell you go in and request it here because I have to open these individually for everybody who needs one. It's not a one size fits all. Okay? So I want to help you. So let me help you. All right? And that's how you do that. So if you do this thing, regardless of what this score says here, says 0%, that doesn't matter. If you do it, guess what? You get attendance and you get 100 points. Okay? I don't need to see the results. Okay? So I think that's a pretty good deal. You get your attendance, you get the points, and if you need an extension, you get your extensions. Now, it's going to take me a little bit to put those extensions in because I have to put them in one by one. Okay. Just like friends of mine tell me that's how they get their hair done. And it's like, I wouldn't know. I don't have hair. Okay. So I can't help you on that. I'll take their word for it. Okay. So if you do that tonight, right there. You get attendance and you get points, and I'll try to get as much of the extensions done tonight, and you'll be able to get those things made up. Now, anything you make up does not count towards attendance. You have to make them up. Those extensions, if you wait to ask for those until Wednesday, everybody's extensions end Sunday. Okay? You got that? If you wait till Thursday to ask for an extension, it ends Sunday. The quicker you ask for that extension, the more time you have to work on it because all extensions end Sunday. Okay? After Sunday, there's no more week 1 extensions. Everybody got that? Once we hit week 3, week 1 assignments never come back. You cannot have week 1 assignments in week 3 or that last week. If you're short points to get that B or to get that A, you ain't getting it from week 1. They do not allow week 1 assignments in the last 2 weeks. Okay, once we hit week 4, you cannot get assignments from week 1 or week 2. Does everybody understand? Assignments have end dates that you do not get to pull those back. All right, so you stay up with them. Okay, so please get that done. This week, our discussion. Microsoft Word. How many people have used Word? A lot of us have. We're going to work in the chapters with it, and you're going to find out the real way to use it. Some things are going to seem a little overboard, drawn out. I don't expect you to become experts in everything, but I want you to see the right way to do things. And it has become the standard everywhere. Now, some people will use Google Docs at home. In here, we're going to use Microsoft Word. We're going to do our project in Microsoft Word. Do not use Google Docs. Do not use any other program for the project, okay? We're going to use Word. It is free. I will show you how to use it or get it free so you don't buy anything. If you're seeing something that's telling you to buy it, you're accessing it wrong. So I will show you how to do it. But in here, I want to know, how do you think it is used in fields like welding, HVAC, electrical, blah, blah, blah? Okay, because it is used in there. And I give you some examples. Now, I'm going to show you tonight how you can get AI to help you answer this. All right. And I'm going to show you how to use it properly, not answer it for you. Okay. So everybody got that? I don't want you just to type something in and have it spit the answer out and you just cut and paste. All right. Did someone say something? I thought I heard something. I still have my headset down too low. Okay. All right. So I'm going to show you how to begin using some AI prompting tonight too. All right. So that's going to be one thing. Okay. The other thing that we're going to do is in here, we're going to click on our chapter. Now you have more chapters, but they're not quite as long, but they still work the same. Did everybody kind of start to get the hang of how SimNet worked last week? You kind of started to get to understand how everything worked. Now remember, if you really get hung up on something, send that over to me. Now, if you went through that chapter, how many people got a 94? You didn't quite get 100, you got a 94. Kind of like irritated you. You just barely missed that full 100. You missed like one item and you didn't quite get 100 on something last week. I know because I saw them out there. If you got a 94 on it, check your grades. If you go back, you had a 94 on something, you got bumped up to 100. You just barely missed that 100. I went back through, I know exactly which one you missed, and I bumped those up to 100. So if you did the chapter and the quiz and you got a 94, nope, it's been bumped up to 100. You're welcome, because I know which one you missed and it's an easy one to miss. So check those scores when we get out of the class and you'll see those 94s have been bumped to 100. All right. So this will work the same way, only you're going to click in here. You'll have the show me, the guide me, and let me tries. When you're in here, don't forget you do have the hints that will help you out. And when you are working in Word itself, um, you are going to have, let me go to another one here. Don't forget this is called the ribbon. These are tabs up here, and these are groups where it says clipboard font and paragraph. Dialog launchers are the squares with the arrows. You will have to think about things in relationship to writing and paragraphs. Okay, because like in here, it says place your cursor at the end of the first paragraph. Okay, in this case, the end of the first paragraph will actually be here. This is actually a paragraph, even though it's only one sentence. So right here is where you will actually begin typing this in addition to our classic spa services. And again, a few of the people I've talked to, I've expressed to the publisher, we don't want these really long sentences, okay? Um, it's not a typing class. So be real careful with this one because it is a lot of typing. And when I demo this myself, I like to add in extra words or leave words out of this particular sentence. So be very careful with this one, especially with the uppercase, lowercase, and that because it is a long one. All right. So be real careful with this one and don't let it drive you crazy. Okay. And if things get too hectic on anyone, don't forget up here in the upper left-hand corner where it says skill 2 of 16. If you get stuck and you cannot get past one, you go to the next one and you send me a text or an email and tell me what skill you are stuck on, skill 2 of 16, skill 3 of 16. But because we have multiple chapters this week, don't forget to tell me which chapter you are actually in. Okay, that's going to be crucial here because I need to know which chapter. Like in this case, it would have been chapter 1. All right, everybody got that? Don't bang your heads on a particular item. Try it a few times. If you don't get it, go to the next one and let me know, and I can tell you this is what's going on or however to deal with it. All right. And so you do have this week, you have more than you did last week. I'm aware of that. It takes you, or an average person, about 45 minutes to go through these. Chapter 3 in here, let me go into that. You do have 16, so you got about 16 in each one of these, so it's not an astronomical number of them. And some of these are one-click items and you're through them. Okay, so some of them are extremely short to get through them. Okay, if you have questions on any one of these, let me know. I'm not going to go through them because they are ones that you work through individually. Okay. Does anybody have questions on how to do the chapters themselves? We're all good? Yes, yes? And so if we're good, I'll move on so we don't go through the individual chapters. All right, good. If anybody ever needs me to go through something like that in more detail, don't forget you can come up here at the top and you can set up an appointment with me. I've had a few people do those, and we've done one-on-ones. So you can go in there and you can always schedule an appointment as well. Okay. Or after the class, if you want to hang and have me go over something specific, please feel free to ask for that as well. Okay. Your quiz works just the way the quiz did last week. There's only 20 questions in here, so even though you have more chapters, you really don't have more questions, okay? So it works the same way. You're going to do take exam, agree to it, and then start the exam. You do not have the help here, but if you get something wrong, don't forget to pull out that phone, take a picture of the hint, and go through it, all right? You do not have time limits, but don't stop the quiz and go away and try to come back and continue it. The quiz does not work the same way as the chapters that you can start and stop those. Okay? And if you have any issues with the quiz, again, reach out to me. Okay? What I really want to get into is the actual project. Now, I will go through the project all the way from start to finish. So that is a given, okay? So we're going to click on the project, and a couple things I want to point out here. Microsoft Word, okay? Again, we're going to go through the student portal to get it. Please don't use other programs, okay? It is not exactly the same, okay? If anybody knows vehicles, that's like trying to say a Chevy truck and a Ford truck are identical as they are identical to a Toyota truck. No, they are all different for a reason. They have slightly different purposes, even though they may be very close in that they are all trucks, all have wheels, engines, etc. But there are differences. So please use what is required in the class. All right. When it says do not use a template or any pre-made form, do not Google one that's out there or try to use one, and don't try to use AI to actually do the assignment. Okay, we're going to play around with AI in certain instances, but don't try to get it to do your work. All right. And so it does leave markers behind when it's in place, and that's considered plagiarism, even though it's a machine that did the work, it's not your work, okay? So this part up here at the top, a couple of things that are going to be in there. This part about the orientation to portrait and margins to normal, that should be standard when we open the document. You're going to have purchase order at the top. We are going to do tables in here. We're not going to be spacing things out. We're going to do tables, and it goes into detail describing it, the data that we're going to use in case you have questions. Again, I'm going to walk through all of this, so you're going to see it visually, which is easier than reading what's in here. But if you have questions afterwards, you'll be able to take a look and see exactly what is required in here. Now, this is what it's actually going to look like. This is one of the tables here. This is the other table. These little marks in here, you can see right here, you're going to be replacing that with data. You're not actually going to leave those there. Those will be where the data goes. All right? Everybody kind of see where we're headed. This is what we're going to be creating right here. This little piece right there. Okay? So that's the goal for us to do. Okay? So how we're going to do this is we are going to start in the student portal, and we're going to be going right down here in the middle to where it says Microsoft 365. You will click on that. If you have not been in here, what's going to happen is you're going to get a screen that will have the Microsoft login page. your login is the same as what you log into Canvas. It will be your Canvas ID and your Canvas password. Okay, so your Canvas ID is usually your student ID and that password. So everybody got that? You will be stopped there usually to put that in. Okay, then you'll come up to a screen that is usually very similar to this. Sometimes it looks a little bit different. All right, everybody good so far? So this is what's called Copilot. Copilot is similar to Genie in Google. It is similar to Siri on Alexa or on your Apple devices, similar to Alexa. It is an AI interface. It connects onto ChatGPT. For graphics, it uses Nano Banana. I love that name. It just sounds funny. Um, so that's basically what it is. If you use Copilot, one of the things you want to get used to is this little square up here where it says start a new chat. And the reason why you want to do that is because AI always works with previous data. And if you don't do that, it is going to use anything you had asked it to do prior. Now, remember our wonderful little discussion questions, how would Word help you or how would it be used in your career? Okay, so we could simply ask, how is Word used in electrical careers? Boom, and it's going to work on that. Okay, so it's going to tell us right here. This is how it is used. Okay, so it gives us some things to think about. Now, don't just cut and paste this. What you do with this is think, okay, job completion reports. How would that affect you? Okay, documentation, standard operating procedures. Okay, so you think about that some more. How would these items affect me on on the shop floor? How it affects you on the floor? Work instructions you follow are often written. So see how you take this and you turn it specifically on you. And it gives you examples, real impact, clear, well-written documents, fewer mistakes, fuller things. Do you see how data inside and generated does not come easily? You need to pull that out. You need to think, do you see how this is starting to work for you, but you have to work it? How many people are starting to see that? At first, it just gave general information, but I need to know how it's going to affect me. You still have to do the research. Okay. This here, it still affects me, even though you may not think it. Even if you didn't write it, what's written in Word sets the rules you work under. So this is how you start to use these AI prototypes, this protocol, all these things, okay? So when you're working with Copilot, Don't just type something in, or if you're working with ChatGPT, don't just type something in and cut and paste it. This gives you information. And now comes the important part. Use this information, think a little, now write your own answer. Does everybody see how that works? And by doing that, it's your own work. You take the information, put it in your own words. That is ethical. That's how you do that. This will not get you into trouble. Just taking this, cutting and pasting it will not only make you have to redo the work on your own, but that can also cause you to be removed from your educational path if you're caught doing it over and over. Does everybody understand? Because it becomes plagiarism and unethical. So this is how you can use that. And then you can do things in here too. Show me a diagram of a three-way switch. Whoops, I wasn't in the right window there. Show me a diagram of a three-way switch. So we'll go out here and it's going to find some information and it's going to come up with an image. Sometimes it takes a little bit. And it's going to go through here. And this is how you can come up with information. And you might think it's very similar to the internet as far as in just using Google, but you can see that it's making the information very, very specific to me and what I put into it. It's doing exactly what I am asking, not just general. And then it's giving the instructions on it. Okay, so that's something to think about when you're in here and you're working around. All right, everybody good with that? So, and this was an example for the electrical people, but I want you to start looking around in these things because I don't want you to be afraid. I don't want you to think this is all ambiguous, but I want you to use it ethically. So everybody promise me that you won't just cut and paste things that you pull out of ChatGPT. I want you to use it as like a research tool and put things in your own words. All right, everybody promise me that? Yes. Don't steal things that aren't yours. Okay, and that includes from a machine. All right. Okay, so let's get on to our reason for being here. We're going to knock this project out. So when you come in here, look for something that says apps. Mine happens to be way down in the corner. Okay, we don't want the one that's in Chrome. We want the one that's down here or on your screen somewhere. And you click on apps, and then you'll see your apps listed here. I'm going to click on Word. It's blue, and it's going to open up. Okay. Now we are going to do create blank document. All right, so we are cooking now. Now, the first thing I like to do is all the way on the right-hand side, there's this little down arrow, this little down caret. And when I hover over it, you'll see that it says the ribbon display options. Click on that, and I'm going to go to classic ribbon. And notice my display changed at the top. that gives me the most options on display. And I like that because it's easier to read. And so that's just a preference of mine. If you don't like that, you can click it again and you can do single line ribbon and it will shrink back. The choice is yours. I prefer this one. Now, the other thing I'm going to do, and you do not have to do this, I'm doing it for the demo, is I'm going to go to view and change my zoom, and I'm going to say fit, and my screen just went from one side to the other. And I'm going to go back to home. And again, I am doing that for demo purposes to make it go all the way across as opposed to having those big wide spaces on each side. Now, we are going to look at our project here, and this is what it's going to look like. It's going to say Southern Technical College, and then we are going to have something that says your campus over here. So I'm going to go back to my document, and I'm going to type in Southern Technical College, and then I am going to use a vertical line, and that is a shift of my backwards slash mark, which is above my return key on the keyboard. And I am going to pick Auburndale because that's the campus closest to me, and hit the return key. And if I go back to my purchase request, you can see that's there. And then I'm going to go down a few lines and I'm going to put in this that says purchase order. So I'm going to go down one more line and I'm going to type in purchase order. And then underneath it, I am going to put in this grid. Now you'll see that it's 2 boxes wide, but if you come back up here, I have some instructions stuck in here. And it says create a 2 or 4 column table. And it says 4 columns are easier for data entry. That's a hint for you. So when I come back to this, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to take that hint and use it. I'm going to do insert and see where it says table. I'm going to click on table and I'm going to go over 4 of these boxes and I need to actually come down 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to do 4 by 4. So I just have to move my cursor over 4 and down 4, and you'll see that the table actually tells you that it's a 4 by 4 table. As I move around, see how it moves. So you don't even have to count. It'll keep track for you. Once I have that, I click and boom, it creates that table for me. Okay. Now, if I look at my project, I can see that I need a vendor name, a ship to, address, phone, contact, website, and email. All right. So I'm going to move this over here temporarily so I can see what all I need to type. So here I need to have vendor name. And you'll see why I did that as 4 columns. This way I can just click right here and I can type in my ship to. And then here I can put in my address. So it's a little bit of cheating for me and I need an address here. And here I need a phone. And here I need a contact. And under phone, I need a website. And under here, I need an email. Okay. And then I will need a date. And then here I will do the tab key. Tab does nice even spacing. And then I need PO number. right there. And we need to fill in this information. Now, if I go back to the instructions, and I'm not going to keep flipping back and forth on the screens, just so you know. So where we get the information from, the vendor name and address and everything, I want you to think about your career and what you would purchase for that career. So if you're a welder, you're going to be looking for welding supplies. If you're an electrician, you're going to be looking for electrical supplies. If you're a medical assistant, you're looking for medical supplies. Veterinary assistant, vet supplies. HVAC supplies. So you're going to be going up here and so for, let's see, for um, electrical, I'm going to type in electrical supplies. Okay, so here's an electrical supply place. I'm going to click on them. Okay, so when I am here and I come over here and it says website right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my website and I'm going to come up here, click on that, right click, copy, and then I'm going to come back to my document right here for website. And here's a trick I'm going to show you. You're going to go to insert and this item here where it says link and where it says enter link right here, I'm going to right click or you can do Control V if you're on a PC, Command V if you're on a Mac. And where it says display text, I'm going to say electrical supply. Whoops, supply, and say insert. And see how it makes that nice little link there? But look at how big that link actually was when I hover over it. See how big that is? But look how nice it makes it. That keeps it from looking horrible. Now, the vendor name is actually HD Supply. So I'll type that in, HD Supply. And if it's got their phone number and address, what I can do, there's their phone number right there. I can just right click and copy that. Come back to my document here. I can put their phone number there by right clicking and pasting that. Boom, I've got their number. And if their address is on their website somewhere, if I can happen to find it, maybe it's at the bottom. Sometimes they have their address. I don't see their address real easily, so we don't have to put that in. Okay. Now, who that's going to ship to, that's going to be your name. The address will be your campus. Okay. So look up your campus. In my case, it would be, uh, the Auburndale campus. I would put that. And then the contact, you can put Mr. Haley or you and put in your email. This would be the student email, most likely. The date, well, that would be today's date, which would be 4/13/26. And the PO number. Okay, so for the PO number, the last four digits of your student ID. So you could put that in, and if you can't remember what that is, any valid number would work. All right, everybody good so far? Yes, yes? All right. We are going to hit return. Now, I can pull this back over here. So this is how far we've come already. So now for line items, I need to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 across and about 5 down. So we're going to put that in the same way. Now that I'm here, I'm going to go to this Insert tab right here, Table, and we are going to go 6 across and 5 down. And click. Okay, and what I need here is an item number. And then I need a description. And then I need a part / model. And then a quantity, unit price, whoops, and a line total. Okay, and then down below that, here I need a total. Okay, so does everybody see where we're going here? Now that I've got my electrical items, I can go in here, and if I click power cords or extension cords, I find an item number. Here's a part right there. Copy that, come in here. There's a part or an item number. It can even be the same. I'm not that particular about that, so we can put that in. The description, I can just copy this here. So see, it's actually got 2 different part numbers. You could put both of those in. That would be fine. I'm just going to paste that right into the description. I'm going to want 5 of those. How much is this item? That number is made up for the number of quantity. Well, that must be a good extension cord for $161. I take it it's better than the ones I get at Harbor Freight for a couple of dollars. And then I'm going to manually calculate that. Now, if you'll notice, all these fonts are different. It kind of looks a little dumpy. So if you come here, because people don't understand the importance of the format painter. So see this font here for description? I like that. So I'm going to come over here and double click on format painter. Now see how that little paintbrush is following me? So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to hold down my left mouse button as I go across and highlight these. Now watch what happens when I let go. It didn't work. So let me try clicking one at a time. Okay, for some reason it is not working. That's really strange. I love live demos here. Let me try this again. I wonder why it's not doing that. Let me try this again. I wonder what's going on with that. Bold 10.5. There we go. Okay, I didn't grab enough of it. Let me try this again. Highlight this. Click the format painter, pull it across. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to change that back here. Let me go backwards. Okay, so what I want is I want everything to have the same format as what it looks like for description. I hold down my left mouse button, highlight that, double click the format painter. Try that again, double click format painter, get that paintbrush, highlight all the way across, let it go, and it changed the format. That's what the format painter also does, is it will change just the format. It doesn't change the data. And that's how you get a consistent format. Should this table also be named and titled? The only thing you have to do is put these here. You don't have to actually give it a separate name. The purchase order refers to the whole thing, so you don't have to give this a separate name here. Okay, now, how many do you have to have? Just enough to fill this out here. So just like 3 more items. Multiply this out manually, get this total here for each one of the items, and then this total down here would be the grand total of these items. Now, why are we manually calculating this with a calculator? The reason being is even though this kind of looks like Excel, which does math really wonderful in it, the math inside Word is awkward. And I was going to have you do the math automatically, and I don't want to put you through that. All right. Sometimes you have to admit there's a limit to what we can easily do in a short class period, and I don't think that's beneficial. Okay. I will show you how to do this calculation in Excel, and it'll be much better there. And that type of table you can pull into Word. All right. So rather than frustrate you, just manually calculate this with a calculator. All right. Everybody got that? If you want to go above and beyond, please feel free to put in the automated math in here. But for what we need, I don't need to see that. If you get this number incorrect, I'm not going to, deduct for that. I'm not testing your math. What I'm wanting to see is that you can set up a table, you can put the information in. This is formatted correctly. And this right here, I do want you to use that insert here and this link here and put that information in like that so that you can do a nice document. All right. Under the chip to it says your campus. Oh, Kayleen, I am so sorry you have failed the course. No, absolutely. Thank you for telling me. That's okay. You're perfectly fine for that. I'm not going to deduct for that. Okay. The reason why I specify your name, your campus in here, and that is because people were really fretting about that. I want the data input in here. I'm not as concerned about the actual data as the formatting. The formatting of this form is the most important thing. I want you to be able to have the skills to go in and set things up. Being able to properly set up a table, be able to put in the information, being able to go out to the internet, pull the information, put it in. Those are the things that I'm testing to make sure that you understand that. All right. Is everybody good on this and they understand what needs to be done as far as this part? We all good? All right. Okay. Now for the fun part. This is a little bit awkward. So to save your work here, go to File, create a copy, and then download a copy. Okay. And when you download a copy, it is going to open up um, an item on your system here. Hold on 1 minute, create a copy. I have to see which screen mine's popping up on. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to save it to my desktop to demo. and save it. And I can see it saved there. And then what you do is come back to the actual project. Up at the top, you will click Start Assignment. Click on the little rocket ship. And then I'm going to go back to my desktop where I saved it under Demo. There's my document. Say Open. And then Submit Assignment. You'll see the criteria down here for the grading. And then you'll get confetti. I happen to get little panda bears with mine this time. And then this is a manually graded assignment. I do follow that criteria there. So if you get less than perfect on here, read what I write in your grade book, okay? And it will tell you what you can do to make the grade better all the way up through Sunday at midnight. I try to give you as much opportunity as possible to improve the grade if you want to. Some people don't, but I always try to give you that option. The reason being is I don't believe anybody is just perfect and we live in this perfect world and all that. So we can always improve if we want to. And you can go all the way to 100 if that's what you want and you put forth the effort. Okay. I don't give grades in this class. You earn them. And if you do the work, you get that grade. Okay. Certain people don't just get 100% or they get this because I don't like this or I don't like that. Everything is as fair as I could possibly make it. And if you do the work, I want you to get that score. All right. And if you think you got a score that you shouldn't, you will tell me. All right. Any questions on how to do any of these assignments or how to turn them in when they're due? Anything whatsoever? Everybody's good? All right. If you need to reach me, send a text, send an email. I read everything you do. The only thing that is auto graded are the chapters and the quizzes. Everything else, I read everything. If you want me to see something before you submit it, go just you can go ahead and either send me an email and ask me to check it out. I would be more than happy to do it. So if you want me to check something beforehand, you feel free to email it to me, or you can go ahead and submit it and let me know that you submitted it, and I'll give you feedback and won't put a score on it. Either way would work, Nathan. Whatever works for you. Just let me know how you would like to do that. Or you can schedule an appointment, but you don't need to. You would probably be able to get faster feedback the other way because the appointments actually have set times, so you'd be waiting for one of those. So you can email it to me and ask me to look at it first, or you can submit it and just tell me to let you know. And if it's perfect, I'll just go ahead and score it. Either way. All right. Any other questions? We good? Okay, so the next thing, other than the attendance tonight, your next one that is actually due would be the discussion on Wednesday, and then you have to have something completed for attendance on Thursday. All right. Oh, midterm. You almost made me forget about midterm. We are in the second week, so it's midterm week. Is everybody excited for the midterm? Yeah. How many people are excited for midterm? No one's excited for midterm. Well, bad news. I don't do a midterm. I may have mentioned it before, I don't do a midterm in this class. So I expect everybody to catch everything up this week and this weekend since we don't do a midterm. Okay? I don't see the point in a midterm. You come into class, you just learned how to work everything. You have the first week, then you do stuff the second week. I'm supposed to test you on everything. No, I don't do a test just for the sake of testing you. We have our little quizzes so that it kind of helps reinforce everything. So get everything done. Okay. And if you can't for whatever reason, tell me. Just be upfront, be honest. Let's have a discussion. Let's figure things out. All right. Y'all have a great week. Let me know if I can help y'all out. And I will see you there out online and watch for my many texts and my many emails. All right. Y'all have a great evening.
Mr. Ellie, I'm going to send you a text because I have something